the season's just begun. Doesn't matter if you're 0-1. Everybody's in playoff contention. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the People's Pod.
Give it up for your hosts, Aaron Weaver and Colin Gall.
People's Pod.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We are in.
I think that Curtis is getting exponentially better.
Oh my god, yeah, I want to make love after that one.
It randomly reminds me of Free Willy. Like the guitar riffs that come in there.
That does not remind me of that, but that's great.
I feel like we should be watching, I don't know, some sort of like skater montage.
For sure that. Yeah,
Electric guitar.
Or like maybe one of those snowboard videos. You know, they have like the drone or like GoPro following the snowboarder down a mountain of powder.
That's fun. That takes me back to Johnny Tsunami randomly. Golly. Okay, back on track. A lot has happened in
Week
the past
2.
week. Yeah, holy Toledo. We got a lot of things to talk about this week.
Yeah, buckle up, buckaroos.
Buckle up.
It's gonna be a while.
But yeah, first things first, how was your week? Hit us with a life update.
Yeah, sure. So last weekend was the biggest move of the series of moves that we've been doing over the past month. Got a U-Haul, brought all the big furniture down from the U and Chelsea's place. So futon, mattress, multiple dressers, bed frame, there's even some disc golf basket, that kind of shit.
I can't believe you took the disc golf basket with you.
I know. Well, they had a few more. Like, actually, Sticks had one from Bailey's house. So they had 3, including ours.
Wow.
But I don't exactly have a great spot to put the disc golf basket in my place. There's a few options. There's like a shared front yard, but then it's just in everyone's front yard, which is like, who knows how people feel about this random disc golf basket showing up. There's the garage, which we could put it in, but, you know, that's probably the best option because the other option would be on the side yard, but it's kind of like an alley that's like 6 feet across.
Mm-hmm.
And so
It's a cornhole alley.
Yes, perfect for cornhole. Probably not perfect for putting on a disc golf basket because you're either bashing the house or the fence or just hitting the basket, and then it's a tunnel for all this noise.
Oh, yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll meet the neighbors, rub some elbows, kiss some babies.
Dude, it would be so fun if you put it in the front yard and then like local dudes came and hung out and like you drink a beer and you putt around in the front yard and then you go back home.
There are a wide range of characters in North Park. And by that, I mean a lot of people like yelling at themselves in a car window, people riding shirtless down down the street on their bikes when they haven't showered in a few weeks. It's a great spot.
Dude, that sounds like me for half of the pandemic.
That's touche.
Shirtless, unshowered bike riding. That sounds like Santa Barbara living right there.
Back to the update. In addition to moving all this shit into the house and having a bunch of like scrapes, bumps, and bruises from dealing with that, we had a big shopping day on Sunday. A bunch of random house shit like towels and dish rack and soaps and detergents.
Less fun items.
Fill in the blanket. But got a giant TV.
Yeah.
Like I put in the group me. This one's great.
Way more fun.
So yeah, as I was telling you earlier, the Sunday morning, actually Saturday night, Chelsea's like, oh, we gotta go shopping tomorrow for the day. And she obviously knows what Sundays are all about. And so I was like, all right, 8 a.m. we're out the door. We're going to Target. We're buying all this stuff. We're going to get back before 10 a.m. Actually, originally I had negotiated for the 1 p.m. games because just to avoid as much friction in my life as possible. So, you know what?
Wise
Let's
man.
just go to the 1 p.m. But we got enough shopping in to where I'm constructing this TV at like 9:50 in the morning, and then it was right on time to watch the Cardinals play the Titans, which is a game that heavily was involved in our matchup, which I had mentioned. So that was like the one game I wanted to watch all day, so I was able to watch the whole thing. That was cool.
Nice. God, that's so fun. Worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it did really work out. At least the setup, not the whole
Fantasy matchup.
But we'll get to that later. Yeah, okay. Yeah. We'll get to that later.
Dab.
And anyways, that was my past weekend.
That's so
How about
fun.
you?
And you made it through moving weekend without pulling anything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Sectionals is coming up this weekend.
Yeah,
so-
my body is at like 90%.
Yeah.
As I think all of our bodies are 90%. My elbow still hurts from my run-in with the bowling ball. No joke. It's not the same still, but not going to keep me from playing. So no problem there.
We're gonna get you some of those armbands to use while you're.
I don't even know what would help. Like I was riding my bike here up Garden, which is just a fucking hill from State Street, or I guess I should say the Ocean, not State Street, but just all the way up, huffing and puffing on the bike, and my elbow's feeling like very weird with all the vibrations on the bike. But that's neither here nor there. And yes, there is sectionals this weekend, so I won't be able to watch many of the games on Sunday. But I was thinking about this today, and I'm the last man standing in terms of ultimate playing.
Frisbee players. Wow. We are so old now. That's so fun and sad. Does it count when I'm practicing with the Ninos?
No.
Alright, yeah. Probably about
Thought about it. Yeah, I was
yeah.
like, maybe.
I can run around with the Ninos and tennis shoes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
clapping.
You can throw left-handed 100% of the time and still throw all the assists.
Yeah. Dude, good luck. I remember those days of like checking the fantasy scores. Fuck, I'm falling way behind. Duh. All right, gotta go play this next game. Come back on. Resurgence! Woo!
Oh my god, I'm just having a terror flashback. I don't remember what year this was, but I had Keenan Allen on my team, and week 1 they were playing the Chiefs, and he like tore his shit up. Or week 1 or week 2, and then that was his whole season. He was out. I distinctly remember that happening.
Very gnarly.
Talking about like checking fantasy scores at a Frisbee tournament.
Yeah, woof. That reminds me of my current season.
Oh, I think you're 1-0, so maybe you save the pity party for later on. Okay.
I'm taking all the pity, baby. I really needed that win. And we'll get into how much I need this next win. Life update for me. Friday night was date night. It was the first time that Ashley and I had a weekend at the new home. We live close enough to walk downtown, which is epic. So we did a little cocktail hour in the front yard, then waddled over to Arigato. My coworkers gave me $100 gift card.
Do you think Ashley would appreciate you saying that she waddled?
This is actually pretty funny. I firmly believe that she waddles. There's certain times when it's endearing, and there's other times when it's really not.
Where you're like, hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah, I know. When she's all dressed up, the waddle is a bad move. But when we're like, so yeah. Waddling to Arigato is not the correct time. We strutted our stuff. We were all dolled up, super cute. We had a $100 gift card from my coworkers for my birthday, months late. So that's always cool. Going to a fancy restaurant, knowing you can just blow $100 and just order whatever you want. And so we just got appetizers. We got big old bottle of sake, just living the dream. And when you're in that mode, you're like yucking it up with the waiter a little bit more, and we're just ordering things over and over. Like every time we brought someone out, and we're like, all right, yeah, we'll take this, and this too. And because of that, I think, well, maybe not because of that, but he gave us a free plate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is awesome. I've always wanted to be those people that just have free things hidden.
It's good to be buddy with the waiter.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was like a mistake in the kitchen. They're like, what do we do with this? And the waiter's like, you know what? This couple has been really awesome all night. I'm going to drop it off at their table.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. So that was cool. And, we were already full at that point, and we had 2 more plates coming, and then he gave us that free one. So we just had to power through.
And you
right?
definitely waddled home.
Then we waddled home. So we decided to take the long way, and we heard live music going on in one of the alleyways. And so we're like, oh, what's this about? And then just happenstance, there was a wine tasting room right next to the live music. So we popped in, grabbed 2 glasses of wine, sat on the lounge chairs in the alleyway, and listened to this wonderful like acoustic guitar set. There's like old people dancing. It's just like such a wonderful.
Was this outside the Arlington?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, but I know you're talking about. That guy's always there. He's the guy that used to play in the parking lot.
Right, in the parking structure.
Yeah.
I bring that up because Chelsea and I went to see Shang-Chi on Friday in the Arlington, and a dude was out there playing classical guitar with like a whole speaker setup, and he was playing when we went into the movie, and then which was amazing. I recommend it to everybody. We got out, he was still playing.
Yeah, he's putting in work. At least now he's more accessible, like we can tip him.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to go in the parking garage, yeah.
What this is so magical. I'm drunk and this is magical.
Yeah. So that was a pretty magical way to like start off the new chapter of living together. We had been gone, like Austin and then the Slow House. Mm-hmm. It was our first weekend in town, so that was really cool. We finished the night off watching Cruella, which we highly recommend. Ashley and I loved it. Super fun. Can't wait to talk to you about it once you finish. And then another big life update for me is I canceled my World of Warcraft subscription.
That's shocking.
It's shocking. I think.
What? Why? What was the catalyst?
The Niños are the catalyst. So I've had a dream of like starting a league in Santa Barbara for the kids, compete with soccer here in Santa Barbara, right? And then you and I had actually talked about like what could we have accomplished had we not like spent all this time? Like for me personally with World of Warcraft, and
right?
Like you with Lucifer, like we have all these shows that we're binge watching and all that stuff. Like what could we accomplish in that time? So it really like stuck with me, and so I like pulled the plug on it. And it's I'm also paying $14 a month or whatever for it. So it was like, all right, the time is right. Things are ramping up with SBYU. Me and Bacon are in cahoots.
You're in a time of transition anyway with switching houses.
Yeah.
And spending more time with Ashley.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to like justify just ignoring my partner for like ridiculous amounts of time in the same space. Who knows? That's where we stand at the beginning. We're in the honeymoon phase, Maybe that will pass and we'll need to ignore each other for many hours. And maybe it'll come back. But for the moment, focusing on the Niños, and that'll be cool. That's my next, where my purpose is at outside of work. Plus, exploring the town. It's fun to walk downtown. It's so cool. Like just getting plastered and then you waddle home.
I biked from Chelsea's house to the beach to play Ultimate before coming here, and just biking down State Street, so many amazing aromas and food smells. It's like intoxicating, just all the smells you get hit with.
Yeah. Did you notice that Lower State Street has gone through there's serious turnover? Like Velvet Jones is gone. They're now called the Music Alley.
Yeah. There's
a new dueling piano bar or club in place of Q's. Whatever. Well, it was like Q's, and it was Blind Tiger, and then it was some other lounge. Matrix. I never go there. But yeah, there's like 4 or 5 new places. A lot of them music themed. So that's pretty cool. I'm digging that vibe, man. Free, loud music in the streets, musicians having fun.
It goes hand in hand with the transition to a promenade down there, closing down the street to car traffic and restaurants extending their little patios out into the street. It's nice. It's a good
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah, I think it caters to the wedding event coming up here in October. Have a nice little bar hop. That'll be fun. We got to figure out the loop, but for State Street.
It's gonna be such an event.
All right, we're deep in it. That's already 15 minutes of live. You guys don't care about our lives. Oh, actually, yeah, one more thing.
Yeah.
On my life. Sunday, we Ashley had some friends over, and they taught us how to make passion fruit butter, which is, fitting since we just left the U, which had an endless supply of passion fruit. But let's just say you'll be leaving our household with a jar.
Is this a lot of churning, a lot of pounding the butter?
Actually, not even remotely. It's just boiling and then filtering.
And then it hardens?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so simple. It's crazy. I mean, there's a little bit of mixing, but it's not churning by any means. It's like ridiculous. I think you churn more when you're making pancakes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really just mixing. It's wild. I was shook.
Good quality. You're happy with the
So
end
tasty.
product?
It's like a boutique. It's weird. It's got like the flavor of a jam, but the profile of butter.
Who are you?
Yeah. The legs on this butter. A lot of tannins as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. We have to. This first batch we included with seeds, and that's not something that I plan on doing in future batches. So that'll be fun. The people that we were doing it with, they really liked seeds in, and yeah, it's a preference thing.
Yeah.
I go smooth with my peanut butter, so they probably get crunchy.
I also am a smooth person.
Yeah, you're a smooth operator, huh?
Smooth operator. So.
Nice. He's making eye contact at me when he's singing, fam.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We're like sitting next to each other, but we're having a conversation, making eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. That's cool. I look forward to having some of this butter. A segment that you brought up during the week because for some it was a brutal Sunday for their first round picks. So I did a little bit of digging to see how each of us did. Of the 12 first round picks, only 4 eclipsed the 20-point mark. And actually, Tyreek Hill eclipsed 30, so good on Max. Tyreek Hill, 32.6, Kelsey, 22.6, McCaffrey, 23.2, and then Chubbster, 21.1.
Chubbinator.
The opposite end of the spectrum, 3 first-round picks scored under 5 points.
Oof.
So both Saquon and Aaron Jones scored 3.2 points. Which, side note, I thought was interesting because Brad and Scott were playing each other, and both their first-round picks scored the exact same amount of points. And then Ezekiel Elliott for Adam got 4.9 points. Another little interesting thing about this is that Max had Tyreek Hill score 32.6, and he lost.
Ouch.
And I also lost, and I had Chubb score over 20.
Hey. It just goes to show you the first round doesn't matter at all, huh?
Yes, everyone should forfeit their first-round pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Cook for Tactical PB Lee and Kamara for Bacon both had good weeks too. 17.4 for Cook and 16.6 for Kamara. But just to summarize, only 4 of 12 scored over 20 and 3 of 12 scored under 5.
Yeah, that's rough. I think just over half of people are just under half of us are yearning for more from our first round picks. I mean, I feel like I dodged it, but like I was upset. Henry did not have a good game by any means, but I dodged it. But it wasn't 3.2 points upset.
Right.
You know.
Right. He was more involved in the second half. He had ripped off some longer first down runs.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. To me, okay, so week 1, new offensive coordinator, they get smashed, right?
They got fucked up.
And now here you have all of these pundits with next gen stats at their arsenal. Obviously, offensive coordinators and everybody have those stats available to them. Whether or not they use them is another story, right? But when people are pointing out facts like last season, Tannehill, Tennessee called 32% play action passes, and on week 1 they called, I think it was 17 or 11%, so somewhere in that range, right? And this is like being tweeted out by all the pundits, right? So you can like choose to not use next gen stats, but then there's these really smart analytical people pointing this out, and it's going like catching virtual fire, right? So like I wonder if now, because of the presence of fantasy football, like these things are becoming more like present in their curmudgeony minds. There's a long-winded way to say, like, I wonder how Twitter is affecting offensive coordinators.
No, that's an interesting thing to think about. I also think of personnel of the Cardinals, right? Their defensive line is stacked. They just fucked them up.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously everyone has the same available statistics, even if you're like a fantasy pundit or if you're an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. The NFL teams, they all have the stats. But do they have the scheme and the personnel, right? So the Titans are going to Seattle this week, and I wonder if they'll do better or the same, right? I spent $7 uncontested on Fab to get the Arizona defense because they just fucked up the Titans, who last year were like a dominant team.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, we gotta wait and see, right? Like, how much does week 1 mean? How much does the Packers scoring 3 points mean, right, for the entirety of the season? It is interesting to see, though.
Yeah, that Cardinals defense pickup, by the way, kudos. They're a force. They might be your rest of the season team. You might have thought you were streaming. You're not streaming anymore.
I hope. We'll see. I mean, whatever. We'll get to the matchups
Who
later.
knows? Yeah, week 2.
Let's just say I have both the kicker and their defense right now.
Uh-oh. Pray to the gods.
Yeah.
I love Matt Prater.
Yeah, he had a pretty good, he missed a field goal, which was not great, but the opportunity is there, and I'm always pounding the table for opportunity for all fantasy players.
Pounding the table.
I've been saying it for years.
Oh, I love pounding opportunity. That's
Well,
what I heard.
obviously, yes, I love pounding opportunity. We could talk a whole other podcast about that.
Yeah. Moving on.
We're all practicing, am I right, Stu? Shout out Stu and practicing.
Hey.
How's your father?
Atonement. Atonement.
Do you have liquor for us at atonement?
Yes, of course I have liquor.
So we reached our atonement segment. So honestly, didn't have a lot of material from you all in the way of suggesting what we should atone for.
Do you want whiskey or tequila?
Whiskey.
Tequila is ice cold.
I'll have whatever you're having. Surprise me. Dealer's choice. Whiskey or tequila fan. Anyway, so 3 things that I wrote down to atone for. I see Weaver added here, but first one was Pebbles' QB pickup. I know Pebbles already was celebrating the fact that he picked somebody up off the wire and did exponentially better than Aaron Rodgers. But Curt Cousins scored 22.04 points, which was 351 yards and 2 touchdowns. So solid pickup. Cousins against the Bengals. Even though they ended up losing, it's still a great day.
Dude, this strategy, the zero QB strategy is awesome. Look at all the QBs that were available on waiver wire still, like Jameis.
Yes, so I sent Weaver a screenshot after our matchup of like 6 or 7 quarterbacks, all of whom scored the 16 plus points that I would have needed to beat him in our matchup. Literally on the waiver wire, there's 7 of them, including fucking Zach Wilson of the Jets making his first career start.
Zach Wilson is the next Mahomes.
What am I doing? Yeah, actually, I should pick him up.
Yeah, Tony Romo says so.
Weaver put a little stat here that Pebbles, although you did pick up Cousins and get those 22 points, you started the wrong tight end.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
Although it looks like their point differential was not that much.
Yeah, I love these tight end segments. It's something that I think we've done every year. But yeah, Pebbles started Mark Andrews, scored a whopping 3.5 points when he could have started Hunter Hurst Henry, to score 0.9 points more at 4.6.
Speaking of two tight ends, or tight ends in general, Brad currently in his starting lineup has two tight ends.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's the worst move.
No, it doesn't. They both crushed last week. Right, and we'll get to the matchup later.
Yeah.
Second atonement. This actually, I already atoned for this one, but just to revisit, Weaver and I had a CeeDee Lamb versus Antonio Brown bet on Thursday Night Football, which was actually pretty damn close. CeeDee Lamb scored 19.9 points, 7 receptions, 104 yards, and 1 score. Antonio Brown, 22.2 points, 5 receptions, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. So very, very close. Brown had fewer receptions, but a few more yards.
Yeah. You love it when those moon balls go up and they come down 40 yards down the field to your receiver. And that happened in this game.
When I saw that play, I was like, please no. And there he is. Then you watch, he just wide the fuck open.
Oh my God, yeah.
And actually, just to piggyback on this, in the bet we made last time, Robbie Anderson scored 13.2 points. So Antonio Brown off to an early lead in our Anderson versus Antonio Brown bet.
And he's noticeably benched in your lineup this week.
Yeah, well, we can get to that later. A lot of moving parts.
I think it's pretty appropriate to talk about how garbo Robbie Anderson is right now.
Yeah, 3 targets, 1 reception, which is a long touchdown.
I know, I was so pissed.
That's not opportunity.
That's not opportunity.
And actually, that was amazing. He had like 0 points, 0 everything, and I put in the group me, is Robbie Anderson dead? And Steve's like, hold on to
hold on to your butts.
Yeah, hold on to your butts. I was like, what? Ah!
I know. I was
perfect timing.
Dude, I was expecting some sort of injury news to come across my feed for him. But it was the exact opposite, and it was a nightmare. Because that's when I was really trembling. You know, I was expecting to lose. That was going to okay. Anyways, Robbie Anderson, Sam Darnold, not good. Robbie Anderson excelled with Teddy 2 yards.
Teddy 2 waters.
Teddy 2 waters, yeah. 2 waters, please. And Ryan Fitzmagic, when he was on the Jets, he was not good with Darnold at the helm.
Well, it's one game. Not going to freak out yet, but he's probably not going to start.
Not going to freak out, but also not giving him any respect.
Last atonement is something that Weaver and I mentioned in the last podcast. We missed dumping buckets of water on each other. It actually would have been Weaver's second bucket, my first, but because of that, we're going to take a shot of whiskey right now.
Woohoo! Cheers, buckaroo.
Cheers.
And in this case, hearing is believing. Buckaroos.
That's what's
so. This whiskey is Buffalo Trace, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, gifted to me from the Buffaloos at the U for my birthday.
right.
So yeah, thank you, you boys.
Let's get a little groomy magic on here. I'm going to post this without any kind of context, and then the buckaroos can come across it later on.
It burns. Holy Toledo. All right. The next segment we have is our mailbag. Mailbag. The next evolution of our podcasting is coming up with some sort of soundboard where we can drop,
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
drop tunes. Yeah.
Booty scoot Cam Newton.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'll start calling us the fantasy footballers. Fantasy footballeroos? Potentially.
Fancy buckaroos coming right there.
Yeah, fantasy buckaroos. First things first, we have Bill had a request. Do you want to take the lead on this one?
Okay, so slow work day for your boy. So I did a dive into Bill's request. And if I could open this. So to read it exactly as Bill sent it to us, and thank you all for sending these in.
Yeah.
From Bill from the Pacific Northwest. If it's not too much work, I'd like to see how each of us started the year, our overall records for week 1. I don't remember the last time I lost a week 1 matchup. When I first read this, I thought he was solely talking about this year. I read it as like, I wonder what our records are after week 1. And I was like, is he fucking with us? And then I read it a second time, like, okay, now I understand what he's
makes
saying.
more sense.
But to answer you, Bill, I found a lot of fun things researching this. You are correct, partially. You and Pebbles share the highest winning percentage since 2013, so that is 9 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including this last weekend. You're both 7-2. Scott, surprisingly, is in 6-3. Brad, 5-4. Then myself, Weaver, Adam, Stu, and Bako are all 4-5. Evan and O'Malley are 3-6, and Max, maybe surprisingly, is taking up the rear at 2-7.
Dude, Max hates week 1.
A few fun things. So you love to talk shit on your matchup with Adam, correct?
Yeah.
So 2015 is when we had our original rivals, and you lost to Adam 3 times in a row.
What?
And then you beat him twice in a row.
Yeah.
So Adam actually, in week 1, had the overall advantage at 3-2 towards you for week 1. I don't know what your week 12 was, right? Because you do 2. But in week 1, Adam, you actually beat Weaver 3 times to 2.
Dude, this is why eyewitnesses shouldn't be a thing in the judicial system.
That's why. A few other things. Obviously, when I was looking at this, I went across everyone's names for all time, right?
Oh.
And in 2018, Brad's name was Saquon These Nuts, and I got a good chuckle out of that one. So thank you, Brad, for that. A few streaks. Bill, to answer your question, the last time you lost was 2017. You've won 4 straight, including this weekend. I, on the other hand, won last in 2017 in week 1. I've lost 4 straight. And Weaver, you've actually now won 4 straight.
A heater.
You've had 2 against Adam, and then 1 against me this last week. And then I don't know who your rival was last year because now we're shuffling every year. But whoever that was, you beat him.
Fuck them.
Yeah, so there you go, Bill.
That was very
Last
fun.
time you lost was 2017. You won 4 in a row.
Bill is such Bill is such a bearable winner. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, he is pretty bearable. That's good.
That was good content. Great submission, Bill. And reaching into our bag here, mailbag, we got a request from
He's got an invisible bag he's reaching into right now.
going through the motions.
Oh, he's digging through it. There's a lot in there. Yeah,
there's
he's
a lot
got to
in
dig
there.
a little bit.
All right, and we got this this letter. It's terrible handwriting. I think that's from Stuart. Yep, Stuart. Okay. What is the most embarrassing / most drunk you have been on an NFL Sunday? Yeah. Okay. I'll read the actual text. We had it translated by our writers. Sup, podcast boys. In the afterglow of me falling asleep in the grass by Lake Merritt when I was supposed to meet Amber and her mother for an early dinner, what's the most embarrassing / most drunk you have been on an NFL Sunday? That's so fun. I love the extra context to this question. First of all,
Sounds like he was quite embarrassed.
that's a brutal one. I mean, falling asleep by Lake Merritt sounds like a wonderful thing, like a little.
Missing seeing Amber's mom.
Yeah, it sounded like you were having like an Alice in Wonderland moment. You know, just like hanging out, enjoying the sun rays. You know, you got kids laughing and splashing in the water. I would nap to that too. Maybe people barbecuing, some cornhole happening in the distance. Everybody loves to sleep to some healthy competition. Ish. I don't know. Golf comes to mind. Anyways, then you throw in that bit about missing dinner. That's tough. How fun. Hopefully you're not still in the doghouse for that. And really, the reason I'm rambling on is because I can't think of one. Do you have anything that comes to mind?
I remember the thing that comes. I think the most common occurrence that I can remember is going to rounding third with all the boys, getting blitzed, right? 9:45 button balls, being there all the way through the afternoon games, going back to the fortress, and then passing the fuck out in a lazy boy for that like hour gap between the end of the afternoon games and the beginning of the Sunday night football.
Yep.
Not exactly embarrassing, but like that's what I think of when I think of like how drunk do I get, and then going back.
Yeah. That would be mine as well. Like, probably the most drunk I've ever been is just blacking out there and not remembering, like, going back to the fortress. I think the day that we tried, like, the random liquors off the bottom rack, that was a pretty bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Adam might remember this moment where there was just a bunch of, like, flavored liqueurs in the bottom rack, and I think we were like flirting with Elise at the time.
How could you not?
How could you not? Yeah. In the efforts of getting free things, right? And it just never working. She's so much smarter than we were. Yeah. That's probably the drunkest ever.
I remember getting in trouble with partners. Like, I specifically remember one Sunday, and this I wasn't like blacked out drunk, but I was hosting like family dinner at the Canada Street house. I was still with Grace, and I think she came to pick me up from rounding third, but I ended up driving somehow, and I took the northbound ramp.
Oh, Lord.
You know, because it's kind of confusing in my defense.
Oh, my God.
Instead of going south to downtown, I took the northbound ramp. And this is like, so all the while, she's displeased with me just because I've been gone all day watching football. And so she's giving me, like, you know, how partners can be, the silent treatment, like everything's fine, whatever. And then obviously it's not fine. And then now I take the wrong ramp to get on the highway going in the wrong direction. That just escalates thing. So, yeah, I remember being in trouble at that time, and I'm damn sure there's been times with Chelsea where that's also happened. But more fun story to remember is when you and I and Max were picked up by Chelsea and driven home. Well, I think you and Max were playing in your matchup, and he had lost in the semis to you.
Yeah.
And Max was the one that was very drunk and very pissed off.
Yeah. I think that was Kelly that picked us up.
Yeah, no, she did. She came and got us.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious. I was gonna bring that up as well. That's one of my top 3 favorite Max memories. Max just random outbursts, smashing the front, the airbag.
It's so bad. Kelly would be like, Max.
True, wonderful.
We're in the back seat, just like biting our fingers, or like not bust up laughing.
Yeah, Max like screamed like, "I'm getting shotgun. You two are in the back." And that was Jordan Matthews had scored 3 touchdowns, put up like 35 points or something just absurd. Love that.
I remember that you know was the semi where you have like the 2 heavy hitters, and then the other semi is like very low scoring.
Yeah. I went on to lose that year. Thanks to Julio Jones, who, you know, let me win this week. So I guess we're even.
Yeah.
I guess.
Didn't show up.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next mailbag item. We have 3 submissions from our very own Ev Dog, Pod 5. First things first, we have a request for updated wall sit power rankings.
Yeah, so this request is a little bit puzzling because I think we already talked about it on the last pod. As there's only 3 people that participated, and it was a very clear third, second, first. The power rankings would be Bacon 1, myself 2, and Bill 3.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
And I don't feel the need to go through it to all 9 other people because, you know, the large majority of you guys were there, able to participate if you wanted to.
I'm sorry. These legs are retired.
These legs are made for sitting.
The second question from this request. Does the most recent draft competition affect Stu's drinking legacy? Is he elite? I love this because it immediately brings to mind like Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain, the old pitcher. Yeah. Where like they were so good through the Giants World Series runs, right? And then they just like fell off a cliff, right? Into obscurity. Kershaw, even people will say this about Kershaw, where he's so great through the regular season, come playoffs, off a cliff. And so I do think that his 8th place finish affects his legacy, and he'll deflect and say like, "Well, I beat your ass." Well, I've never claimed to be a good drinker, especially in the beer Olympics, right? So like, nobody's bragging about beating me. But yeah, I think that he's, his street cred is taking a hit, and thank fuck, because I can only handle so much. Two-time drinking champion, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's 2-time champion. To play devil's advocate and be a little in support of Stu, I've never won a drinking championship. I don't think you've won a drinking championship. So until you're at the top, which many of us have not been there, you don't know. Definitely is nice to see Stu place absolute dead last out of everyone there competing through all the events. But there are others I would rather face in the bracket than him.
Oh, certainly. Don't get me wrong. However, he's more touchable than he was last time. And maybe that's because he's just a little girthier, Just kidding. He's going on a diet. He's working out.
He was just shook after the cornhole L's and the time trial abomination.
Yeah. And I was feeling good. God, what a turn of events for me. Feeling great after cornhole, just king of the world. Come in, can't hit last cup, then vomit everywhere. Sick. What a jeez. Okay. The third submission from Evan. This one's a little bit more tough to communicate. It's the bag game. So the premise of this game, there's a paper bag on the floor. You have to balance on one foot and take a bite of the bag. You remove the part that you bit, and everybody goes in order, and basically last person standing wins. So it's basically a test of balance, flexibility, and teeth size.
I think I see where you're going here. To give a little context, you have to lift the bag up. So like you're standing on one leg like a stork. You chomp down on the bag, and you have to stand up.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, well that significantly reduces
and you're not like shredding the bag with your mouth. You like basically bite it, you stand up, and then whatever mark you would have left, you then remove that like teeth mark from the bag. Yeah. So the bag gets smaller as the game goes on, and so you have to get lower and lower while balancing on one leg.
Gosh, all right. Well, who do you think would be the best at this? I don't want to go through full rankings, but who would be the best? Who would be the worst?
What I'm considering is people who have good balance and ankle strength. So I think that immediately rules out a large majority of our league. I think Bacon and Bill would be the two that I would pick that would go the furthest if like there's 12 of us standing in a circle doing this.
Yeah, jeez. I would put some money on O'Malley. Obviously, yeah, O'Malley and Bill are my top two. It's hard to bet against Bacon at anything.
Yeah.
But I like that. So we can say our top three, Bill clearly number one overall, and then Bacon and O'Malley are 2A, 2B.
I think Bacon would beat O'Malley.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have to do that next time we hang out. Bacon, you have a new obscure sport to practice. As far as the worst, I think that either Stu or myself would be the worst. And I think that we would be like a tier removed. Like, I don't even think I could grab full bag. and make it back up. And I don't think that I'm alone.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it like that. I don't want to throw any other people under the bus.
All right, that's fair. Good cop, bad cop. I like that. On to the next one.
Yeah, okay, so next listener mailbag, actually our last listener mailbag, is from General P.B. Lee, aka Tactical Peebly. Hey guys, first time caller, long time complainer. Aren't we all? Love the show, keep up the good work. I already took my victory lap in the GroupMe chat. But I do have some constructive criticism when it comes to weekly picks. This is not a question. Where the hell is the question? This is just you being a complainer. Here we go. Skipping ahead because the podcast obviously is perfect and we don't need any constructive criticism.
It's constructive feedback.
Let's do a weekly segment on the state of the Niners running back situation and how it impacts several of our league members. Let's throw Ayuk in there too. I love Adam's responses and interactions with us when it comes to his players.
Completely agreed.
So, love the mailbag question. This must be the most Homer listener question that we've ever received. But it's an interesting one because Kyle Shanahan likes to rifle through all of his players in all skill positions except for Mr. Kittle. So, with that, we can start keeping track from this week on out. Obviously, Weaver, you made a big splash in the fab and picked up Mr. Mitchell to a tune of $69. Two thoughts. One, nice. Two, you gave me shit for saying $75 and you were almost to that amount. What would you have done if I would have bet $75 for him?
I would have. So, truth be told, I had several like trade negotiations going on for I would say role players. You know, like probably over the course of a season, really insignificant trades. But I did not expect to win Mitchell. I actually had originally placed my bid at $42. And your fuckaroo text in the GroupMe made me all paranoid. And so then I upped my bid to $69 straight up for the meme. And if I won, I'd be able to say, nice. I'm glad that you did it for me.
Well, if you would have done with 42, you would have won.
Yeah, I would
and
still
saved
have
$27 a fab.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one to take. And it's an exciting one at the same time, right? Like, I'm willing to spend 69% of my budget because I'm not streaming my defense. I'm not planning on streaming a kicker. I'm also not planning on streaming tight end or my quarterback, right? So really, I'm just shooting my load, right? Like, and this guy could potentially be a 1A running back. And I have to take that shot. After my injury luck, I'm very happy that I won. I'm also terrified out of my skull that he could not be the one. And it could be Hasty, who Stu picked up for free.
For nothing.
Yeah, so it's an ambiguous backfield, and that scares the hell out of me, but I was feeling desperate. And actually, it reminds me of Sunday, after the Trey Sermon inactivation news, I had a free spot in my lineup, and I chose to pick up a New York Jet running back instead of a backup Niners running back. Like,
had you even known that guy existed? Being a fan?
No, not at all.
So how would you even
But I could have picked up Hasty.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the move that I probably could have made. Which, still, that wouldn't have worked any better than my Jet pick. But this is one of those, elite moves that I'm not making.
Hypothetically elite. Oh, you mean that? Right. I had a similar thought on Sunday. I considered picking up Mark Ingram and dropping Justin Jackson after Eckler was ruled he was going to play.
Mm-hmm.
But then I felt that let's see how the game goes and if Eckler's actually healthy or not.
Dude, I picked up Philip Lindsay because all the experts have him ranked higher than Mark Ingram. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell? am I missing something? Ingram is higher on the depth chart.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
It's week 1 shenanigans. Right? Let's
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Shanahanigans. Like, yeah, who knows who's going to lead the Niners backfield this week? It could be any of those 3 guys. Sermon is going to play eventually, right? Like, he is going to get some work.
Potentially.
And then Jeff Wilson's going to come back. Like, I don't know. I mean, I would have loved to have Mitchell because I'm I don't know if I'm as dire a situation as you are at running back, but mine leaves something to be desired. And I would have loved to have him. But there is a lot of risk. It's a risk-reward play, and we'll see.
Yeah. You know what's funny is once I had to drop Irv Smith, I had thought about picking up Jeff Wilson and throwing him in my IR slot. But I also really believed that Mostert was going to stay healthy this year. I was just like, I don't know, it's fun to cheer for injury
Super
guys.
bummer
right?
for him.
Super bummer for him. And for the Niners too, right? So anyways, I opted to go with Rashad Bateman on the Ravens, and I stashed him on my IR first, and then picked up stupid-ass Philip Lindsay. Can't quit the well, but that was also something that was going through my mind. So yeah, I think that at least one matchup will be decided by Shanahanigans. Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the other, so Pebbles mentions Ayuk. What do you think's going on there?
Brutal. That's tough.
There's been some optimistic news out of camp, or I should say, I guess, practice this week.
Yeah.
Around him.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Part of me like really wonders if Shanahan has some sort of like little man complex, and he seems to be very much like a bro. With like that video that came out midsummer of him throwing a football across the street into a pizza oven. Right? Like, who does that kind of stuff, right? Like, only people that are trying to be alpha males will do some shit like that. And so part of me thinks it's like a hard stance, like, you didn't practice, all right, you're benched. Or, like, I think that you could have practiced on your hamstring. I'm going to somebody else. So I think that there's some sort of ego play going on here. I kind of felt that way with Dante Pettis back in the day. And it's very scary that it's somewhat similar, but I really hope that it's just Ayuk was injured and he's getting off to a slow start and he's going to be a stud moving forward.
Well, with Pettis, he hasn't stuck on to another team, right? Like, he signed elsewhere, and then I don't even know he's on a team right now. So
right, yeah.
Shanahan could be right with that one.
Shanahan ruined him. He was a delicate little flower that needed caressing, and instead he got bullied.
It is pretty crazy how delicate some of these guys are.
Yeah.
Talking like an expert, but just the egos that are there. Anyway, let's see. Anything else fun happen with these fab offers really quick? Christian Kirk goes to Evan for 15. Christian Kirk had a great game. I kind of feel like it's unsustainable production. I mean, obviously you're not going to have 21 points a week, but it seems kind of fluky to me. Mark Ingram. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a couple receiver bids here that I really like. Tim Patrick for $4. It's always weird when two people bid for the same price and lower priority loses out. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I think Tim Patrick after Jerry Jeudy going down and Nelson Aguilar by Adam. I really like those two pickups from the lot. I think that those are undervalued players at the moment. So kudos from me. Not that it means anything.
What do you think about Mark Ingram for $17?
I
Which
think
is
that,
$7 more from the next bid.
I think that Philip Lindsay's waiting on the outs to take over. It's crazy to me that the Ravens moved on from him because they had J.K. Dobbins. What a bummer. Mark Ingram scored so many more points than my running backs. So I'm just triggered about that, but he has a really tough lineup coming up. Cleveland defense, Carolina, Buffalo, New England, Indianapolis, Arizona, Los Angeles, Miami. I think that those are all like top 10 defenses, specifically against the run. And so I don't know how much value Mark Ingram is going to have. I feel the same way about Philip Lindsay, but I'm obviously desperate. So yeah, I feel way more happy with my $69 than I would have 17 for Mark Ingram. Honestly, I thought $7 was too much for him.
Yeah, I had 10 and I changed my bid to 5. I also bid on him. And whatever.
I really, really love how there are so many resources out there telling us like what we should bid on players. Like this is a reasonable amount, and just nothing that we do follows any of that logic. Or maybe it's just me that doesn't follow it, but like I remember years when like Max and Scott would also blow massive loads. Bacon did it, I think last year as well. Those like resources are just so ridiculous. I love that segment of like podcasts. Like, oh yeah, I wouldn't spend more than 4% of my budget. Like, what? Like, I know my league. Somebody's gonna put in a shitty $11 bid, and I'm just gonna lose.
Yeah. Moving on.
I love it though.
This is a very quick section.
Nice pickups, everybody.
This section is, did people play the players in their team name? Question mark. Running through it. Lamb of Rod by myself. Yes, both CeeDee Lamb and Aaron Rodgers. Doug Judy, Pontiac Bandit by Weaver. Yes, Judy was played. R.I.P.
Do you like my name?
I don't understand it.
Oh man, you're not a fan of
What does it mean?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I like 9-9.
What?
But I don't know it religiously.
Doug Judy, the Pontiac Bandit?
Oh, and now it makes sense.
It's the inflection in which you say the name, obviously.
I don't know it.
Jeez. Peralta's arch nemesis? He's played by... Oh, I'm going to look up the actor's name. Move on.
While I was doing that, Fields of Wet Dreams, which, by the way, is the most disgusting name. Pebbles, no, did not play Fields. O'Malley and the Ménage à Trois, yes, did play him. Bacon, you can McKissick this di. Doesn't even have him on his team, so no.
Bacon needs a new team name.
He's got one.
Oh,
He's got one. But this was last week. Maxon hooked on Stephonics, yes, plays Stephon Diggs. Stu and I'll be your Higgleberry, whatever it was. He did play Tyler Higbee. Amarika, fuck yeah. Evan, yes, did play Amari Cooper, had a great week. Bill with Lansing in the Mooney Light. Double no. Did not play Trey Lance, did not play Darnell Mooney.
Still a great name.
Double no, great name. Adam and wannabe starting Sutton. Let's just say he didn't want to be starting Sutton. Scott's name was Dak Prescott. He didn't even have Dak Prescott, so no, he didn't. Although now he has a new name, which we'll get to later. And Team Jiggy Jiggy, that's not even a person. That's a sex act for Brad. And no. There you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people of 9 eligible played the people in their names. And 3 last week had names that were nonsensical to the players on their team.
Hey.
And or were about sex.
It's all right. It's week 1. We're still warming up.
Very true. Very true. Multiple of those people have new names now. Actually, like 4 people have new names now.
I know. I'm going to have to come up with a new one, too, because my favorite co-host doesn't even know my name.
Also, your players.
Doug Judy, Pontiac Bandit? Do you not recognize him?
No.
Craig Robinson?
I know who Craig Robinson is. I don't recognize him in the context of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Peralta.
I know Peralta.
I hate you. All right. Anyways, new team name because Colin doesn't know mine.
Also, the dude's injured for like the next 6 weeks.
Is this a classic case of you wouldn't know a good team name if it hit you in the face? All right. That's not how the saying goes.
Should we do a poll? How many people know who Doug Judy the Bandit
Yeah,
is?
that's super fun. And those of you that respond no need to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm going to put this in the group me right after this so people don't have the spoilers of it being from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. and we'll see how many people say yes. In the
Yeah, good call. All right, this is my favorite section of the entire pod. You hate to love to see it. Gosh, we should have thought of an ad right there. Brought to you by Haterade.
Brought to you by Buffalo Trace. Do you like drinking whiskey that has an animal on the label? Well, this whiskey is for you. If you're trying to renege on a bet that you made with your friend and instead replace it with a shot of whiskey, Buffalo Trace can be there in a pinch. Buffalo Trace. There's buffalo in Yellowstone. Actually, I think buffalo is not even the right term. They're called bison.
Yeah.
Buffalo is a misnomer.
Woof. Why is it a misnomer?
It's like not what they're called.
But
They're called bison.
I know for a fact that buffalo is both singular and plural, which is very fun.
Though the terms are often used interchangeably, buffalo and bison are distinct animals. The old world true buffalo, Cape buffalo, and water buffalo are native to Africa and Asia.
Oh,
Bison are found in North America and Europe.
that's nutty.
Everything in the U.S. is a bison.
Holy Toledo. The bison.
Oh yeah, the buffalo have like the big horns that like curve,
Oh.
whereas the buffalo are the more shorter horns, the thick boys that we think of.
Short horns. They
Bison.
curve. Yeah, we'll have to use that image at this part of the podcast. Anyways,
Look, they actually have a very educational where they have all three of them right next to each other.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
What's that middle one? Knox?
Oh, I don't know what that middle one is.
Anyways, hate to love to see Adam getting the biggest blowout. This is something that I have been very vocal about. I missed Adam week 1. It's all right because I get Adam week 2, and I hope to continue the trend for poor old Adam. The second one, ooh,
Oh yeah. So, well,
I
I hate to say this.
loved
But,
it.
Yeah, I was feeling very good in our matchup throughout all of Sunday, or I should say all of Sunday. I was feeling very good after the morning games because you had all but one player left, and I had 3, including Nick Chubb and Aaron Rodgers, and I lost. So Rodgers just dashed my hopes, my dickerous hopes of being smug. You can't be smug in this game. It'll get you.
It'll get you.
Yes. Also, I'd like to take this time to, as I said in the group meeting, pray for the teams who scored fewer points than I did, even though I basically didn't start a quarterback. So, in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Rogers, I would like to pray for teams Jamar Laxon, Menage a Trois, and Wannabe Starting Sutton. I hope in this next week you all can score more points than one of your fellow league members who gets less than 2 points from their quarterback.
Gosh, how
Aaron
ironic.
Rodgers, we pray.
Dude, Jesus Christ is going to come out of retirement. Just a mess of
Picking him up.
How funny and ironic is it that we were roasting Pebbles for his 0 QB draft strategy, and then you ended up not playing a quarterback effectively? That's tough.
It's nuts. Rodgers literally sat for the last 11 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
What
So
the hell?
fun. His whole life has been downhill ever since
He got rid of Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn. I would feel that way too. Probably. I don't know.
He's got gray in his beard now. He's a gray beard.
He's had an impressive... Who's had a better record? Him or Derek Jeter?
Definitely Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Him or A-Rod?
Who's A-Rod dated was beyond J-Lo?
Does it matter?
I mean, Olivia Munn is pretty awesome. And, well, it's him and her, Olivia Munn and Danica Patrick, the only 2 that I can remember that Aaron Rodgers has dated. That would be of note.
Yeah.
Is there some other comedian?
No, the most recent lady is from Divergent. Shanice Woodley or whatever her name is. Shailene. Yeah, her. They got a baby coming, don't they?
What? I don't know, there's a lot of Danica Patrick.
We're getting into the worst part of the podcast.
Next.
When Weaver brings in pop culture. This one's super fun. Well, super sad. R.I.P.
Hate to love to see it.
Hate to love to see it. This is a classic. Hate to love to see it. Team Jiggy Jiggy. starts Raheem Mostert, who I think, I'm bummed that I don't get Mostert. I was kicking myself for not drafting him. Brad got him. Gets hurt after 2 plays. And Brad ends up losing by 2 points. If he had started literally any other player available in his flex spot, he would have won. That hurts your soul. You hate to love to see it. And that was such a fun ending to the week.
That game.
That was really cool.
Josh Jacobs, great game for him, multiple touchdowns. He was someone who Brad and I had talked about post-draft and who I said I was a little concerned with because of the existence of Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake.
And he went off.
Yeah, he had himself a game despite fighting all sorts of things like toe injury, then he got sick, non-COVID illness, then he got the wind knocked out of him for a play on the goal line, which you hate to see. Unless you're Scott, in which case you love to see it.
Dude, speaking of, let's just insert our matchup back in this conversation.
Yes, bring it.
Fucking, we were texting back and forth during the Browns-Chiefs game.
Vigorously.
Chubb gets the ball 3 times in a row within the 10-yard line, and then they sub him out because he's gassed. Hunt comes in, walks into the end zone the next play.
Oh, I love this.
God damn it. It's hard to complain that much because he'd already scored 2 touchdowns to that point, but it was classic. Chubb was bringing Hunt for 1 play. Easy touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Hate to love to see it. I've been on that end before as well. Tannehill got a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I was cheering for him.
That's fact. Ugh. And that's why we love and hate fantasy football in a nutshell.
Tannehill, another quarterback, which would have given me the victory over you. I had
Kyler Murray, another one.
I thought about that. Don't you think I didn't? What a different week I would have had. Yeah. I would have been I guess top 4. We had some pretty big scoring outputs.
I know. It's fact.
Moving on. Quick week 1 matchup review. We both went 3-3.
I know.
You picked against Bill, which was a mistake.
Stupid.
I was wrong in our matchup.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers. I was wrong about Pebs. And I was wrong about Evan over Stu. But I think you also, we'll see. Which ones did you get right that I didn't? You got ours and who else?
I chose. Let me go to the tape here. You can McKissick this dude.
And I had him.
And Dak Prescott.
Had him.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, and then you had ours. Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't very many. I love that Adam chose me.
Yeah.
Chose himself losing. That's what he did. Yeah. And me, despite my terrible luck. Yeah. Thank you, Adam. You're my boy. Shall we?
This week?
Get into it, yeah.
Okay.
We're at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Woo! Time flies when you're having fun with the homies.
Yucking it up. All right. Which one do you want to start with?
Start from the top. Lamb Abroad versus the Landry Down Under.
Okay. All right. Why don't you start since this is my matchup?
Yeah, I know.
Marquise Brown is questionable, what?
I am choosing, probably not surprisingly, the Landry Down Under. Part of this is because I noticed that you are playing matchups, which is, smart, but I think that you're going to get played by it. I think that you're going to be sitting there Sunday morning, just debating, tinkering, you're just sitting on the toilet, sweating, not because you're taking number 2, but because you don't know if you should actually bench Robbie Anderson or not. Mike Davis versus Tampa Bay, that's a tough one. You know they're going to be behind. So anyways, I think that this is going to mess with you a lot, and I'm choosing Scott's team.
Tinker my way. Well, what about Scott's team that you like?
I think you're tinkering your way to an L. Yeah. I loved what I saw out of Swift and Jonathan Taylor Thomas last week, which is, two players that I was very skeptical about going into the draft. He has Kyler Murray, who I just absolutely loathe and adore. Hate to love to see his name anywhere. So I think his running back core is much stronger than your RB2 and flex.
Okay.
Personally.
Well, I'm also taking Scott in this one.
Oh my
I'm picking against myself. And
trying to announce his jinx him?
my confidence has been a little shaken after last week. And it's not about Rodgers. It's about Julio Jones and my RB2. Those are and my flex. So on my end, I'm Julio. I'm expecting to have the same performance, which would be like sub-5 again. But I feel like it's too early for me to go away from him. Like I think it would be dumb to bench him after his first game with Tannehill. So I'm gonna ride with Julio, but I have like zero confidence in it. Rodgers, although I think he'll do better than he did last week, I think the Packers are gonna fuck the Lions up. And Scott has Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is gonna be the beneficiary of the beatdown on the Lions. And then my flex spot. I mean, right now I'm trying to go with the numbers, and I don't want to play Davis against the Bucs because they destroyed Zeke. Robbie Anderson and 3 targets. I don't like that at all. Will Fuller, he's coming back this first game, though. I don't want to play him. Rager, they're playing the Niners. And I'm just not comfortable with all my flex options at this point. I feel like Scott's team is more consistent, and he's got, just like Murray's going to shit on the Vikings defense, which is not good. I think Higgins, Smith-Schuster, and Landry probably all have projections that are under what they're actually going to score. And then, his running backs are good. So I think his team is just stronger than mine this week. And that's why I'm going with him.
Yeah. Good choice. Moving on to the next one, we have the Fields of Wet Dreams versus Jamar Laxon, which I love this team name because, I have Russell Wilson. And I was Russell Westbrook, fantasy basketball. Anyways, it's a Tales of the Sun. It's just so clever, I'm taking Stu in this matchup. It's super fun. Peebly was talking good junk about Corey Davis being excellent.
Yes, he was.
I think that Bill Belichick is going to scheme away the only offensive weapon for the Jets. I think he's just going to wreck poor Zach Wilson. And I think that Cook and Cousins are in for a rough day against that Arizona defense. We talked about it earlier in the pod. I think that they are a nasty unit. And that's...
I'll show you a nasty unit.
Oh, man. Despite Koo being such a terrible kicker, I'm choosing Stuart Good.
Yeah, I also have Stu, and it's because of what you mentioned. I think the Vikings are going to struggle against that Arizona defense. I hope also, but I think it's going to happen. That's basically it. And then over on Stu's side, I think the Ravens are going to be in a shootout with the Chiefs, although Pebbles does have Mark Andrews, but Jackson's going to be putting up some points in that game. Also, Devontae Adams. They're playing the Lions. They're going to be coming off a game which they know they underperformed. I'd be shocked if he doesn't find the end zone at least once. I think also Gibson is going to shit on the Lions tomorrow night. And Henderdog got something ridiculous like 75 to 85% of the carries for the Rams. He's the guy. So, I think, this matchups are better for Stu this week, and I also pick him.
Nice. Cool. Next up, we got I Would Rush 500 Miles. Such a good name, Bacon.
I would rush 500 miles.
Versus Lansing in the Mooney-Light, who once again is starting
No Trey Lance, no Mooney.
neither of those players. Who'd you choose?
I'm going with Bill in this one. And I'm going with Bill because... Why did I take this? Oh, well, Thielen playing against Arizona. We talked about how tough that's going to be. DJ Shark against Denver, who actually is more stingy than I think people realize. Fournette as an RB2 is a little sketchy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has terrible opportunity. I think I read that he was getting like no work inside the red zone, so I think his prospects are low for this week. Whereas on Bill's side, I think Brady is going to tear apart the Atlanta defense. They got shot on by the Eagles. Johnson of Pittsburgh is the number one in that offense, and the Raiders just found themselves in a shootout with the Ravens, so I expect something similar with the Steelers. Actually, that's not true. The Steelers defense is going to shit on the Raiders, but Johnson's going to eat for his. Samuel went so off.
So off. Love that.
And I don't see why that doesn't continue. And you got McCaffrey and Waller. I think Bill's team is just better.
Yeah.
It's a very good team.
Bill's got an incredible team. Bacon's team is quite good for drafting from a
book.
A fantasy football magazine. I also chose Bill because I will
for 3.
I will not make the mistake of
Platinum Bill
picking against Platinum Bill ever again. Hear me roar. That's all the analysis I need. Oh, it's Bill's team? Yeah, he's going to win.
All right, next we have Menage a Trois against Hooked on Stephonics. I'm taking Max.
Damn it.
Max will have you know that we chose correctly in your loss last week, and we'll choose correctly this week in your victory. And I'm taking Max because a few reasons. Galladay had a very ho-hum game, and the football team is actually very good on defense, so I think it's going to be much of the same for Galladay this week. James Robinson is hated by Urban Meyer for some reason, so the opportunity for him seems to have the arrow pointing down. Tyler Boyd is the third option in the Bengals offense right now. Mahomes will get his, but on the Maxwell side, Josh Allen's going to absolutely shit on the Dolphins. He always does. I think last year he had a game where he scored like 35 plus against the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill isn't, when we talked about Max's team last week, it was that we didn't trust the rookies, and Devonta Smith came out and had a great game.
Yeah, he's the truth.
I think that's going to continue, and so with that, Pitts still needs to find his way, although the Falcons seem to have a lot of issues, but Max's team is in better shape this week. Oh, also the football team defense against the Giants tomorrow night in what looks like a storm cloud right now, so
scattered thunderstorms.
I'm picking Max.
Yes, I'm picking Max as well. And the notes that I have written here, they're very in-depth. I think that Allen, Diggs, and Hill could combine for more points than O'Malley scored last week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should we put
that would be some pretty
atonements
ridiculous
on
odds.
it?
You want to do a 1-2 shot bet?
All right, how much did O'Malley score this last week? 90-something?
93, I think.
93, and you're saying that Allen, Diggs, and Hill score more than 93?
I'm saying it's in the realm of possibilities.
I would not take that. They have to have more than 30 points each. Holy shit.
I know. I think that it can happen, which is pretty awesome. That's the boomiest team I've ever seen in my life. Especially when you throw in freaking Devontae Smith. And if Miles Sanders continues on his pathway, Chase Edmonds, Max, I hate your team, but I love it. Yep. All right, moving on to the next one. Ooh, we've already done that one. Oh, it's me. It's my time. Who do you think's going to win my matchup?
I think it will be not you.
Boo.
I'm taking Adam, who is currently sitting at dead last after 1 week. And I'll tell you why.
Seems weird. Choose the last place team. Are you getting all
I think you're going to get Shanahanigans out of Mitchell having a good game. So actually, I noticed you have a lot of new faces in your lineup this week.
Huh. Wonder why.
Mitchell, Cook, and Chenault. And I think all of those guys are going to underwhelm in their Doug Judy Pontiac Bandit debuts. I'm sure Pittsburgh will have a great game like they did for you last week. But Adam's team, well, few people. Tannehill, he's definitely going to do better this week. I think Seattle has a worse defense than AZ, and with another week of game planning, I imagine actually all of their skill players will just have a better game in general. Really, I'm not so sure because the Bucs defense was, well, actually, if we back up a second, both Amari and Lamb went over 100 yards, and they lost one of their starting corners. So it could be a boom game for Ridley. Godwin's going against Atlanta, who's terrible, so he's going to be good. Sutton, I have no idea what to expect, but I see that Adam is starting many of the Broncos against Jacksonville, as Jaguars might be the worst team in the league. And so both Sutton, Gordon, and the defense could have good games.
I'm very scared of those three. Very scared. But I spent $69 for a reason, and I think that Mitchell is going to carry me to victory.
How many points do you think he scores?
Oh, this is
over
fun.
Under 15.5.
That's funny. I was going to say 15. I think he scores under 15. Nightmare.
Over under 12.5.
Over 12.5.
So more than 12.5, less than 15.
Yeah.
So between the 12.5 and 15.5 point range.
14.8 is approximately what I'm expecting from. Yeah, man, it's scary. I think that I need this win, and I think that my team is gonna do whatever they can to get it. My fantasy defense was pretty incredible last weekend.
What the hell?
We got Aaron Rodgers benched, so we'll see what we can do with Zeke and company this week.
So this is our first different pick.
Thank fuck. It's getting boring over here.
All right, and wrapping it up, we got America, fuck yeah, versus Team Jiggy.
Yeah, I'm going America. Team Africa is really struggling right now. Saquon playing against Washington football team. That's tough. Josh Jacobs playing against Pittsburgh. That's tougher. That just right there is a brutal mismatch versus Mixon, Wixon, Waxon, Wax off, and Kareem Hunter. So I think that just like that alone is going to be enough to secure the W without even getting into all the other players. Yeah, that's where I stand.
Yeah, I think Evan also is going to win. I think just by and large, all of his players have much better matchups. I also think that what we saw from Gronk last week is kind of a flash in the pan. I mean, I guess it's easy to say when you have someone score 25 points, they're not going to do it again. But like you said, the running backs have an uphill battle here. And if you're banking on a second tight end to be your flex guy, I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's
don't see it.
It feels bad to pick against Brad's team right now because I do like his team. I even enjoy his double tight end strategy because I am on the Gronk train, and Hawkinson was a monster last week. This matchup very well could come down to Monday night with Jamal Williams versus Hawkincock.
That's fun.
That'll be super fun to get Brad in the last matchup of the week twice in a row. That'll be cool.
There was another fun thing. I think actually it's in your matchup, not to go back, but you guys are starting quarterbacks in the same game.
Oh, yeah. Quarterbacks in the same game. We have Antonio Brown versus Chris Godwin. That's brutal. Derrick Henry versus Tannehill. That sucks. So a lot of scores can... This very well may be a very lopsided matchup. This could... me and Adam's matchup is probably going to be the biggest margin of victory
Oh, you think this is going to be the biggest blowout?
The biggest blowout
Yeah,
of
I
the
think
league,
Adam's
probably.
going to be in the biggest blowout again.
Yeah, unless some other team like just really shits the bed. I think there's so many things in play for us that directly negate points for the opponent, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill versus Derrick Henry, Antonio Brown versus Chris Godwin. Not
Yeah.
saying that both can't feast, but
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one.
Quick review. We both have Scott over me. Both have Stu over Pebs. Both have Bill over Bacon. Both have Max over O'Malley. Both have Evan over Brad. I am picking Adam, and you are picking yourself. So that's the one matchup that we have different. Should we put a wager on this one matchup different? You want to double bet on yourself?
Gosh. Always bet on yourself. It's the American dream. Despite.
Except if you're Adam and you want to get all your big fish right
Wow.
in the Pick'em challenge.
I feel like I'm gonna go 3-3 again. As long as you only go 2-3.
Shot
2
bet.
and 4. Yeah, sure. Always.
Okay.
Shot bets are so easy. I
Yeah,
love
they
them.
are easy.
It's fun. It's like a little more weight than a dollar bet.
Yeah, dollar bets are bullshit.
I love dollar bets.
Come on, Adam. You got him.
Hey, Adam. I respectfully wish you medium amounts of luck and that you score less points than me because that's what it takes to win this game, as John Madden would say. And medium luck to you, Buckaroo. And to the rest of you guys.
We really appreciate all the listener questions, and we super appreciate you all keeping us accountable for our takes. So feel free to send those atonement thoughts as well as additional questions.
Yeah. That's all for now. Enjoy these Curt Dog tunes. See you later.
The People's Pie.
Week 1, the season's just begun. Doesn't matter if you're 0-1. Everybody's in playoff contention. Welcome to the People's Pie.
Give it up for your hosts, Aaron Weaver and Colin Gall.